I'd like to call the order to Zion Park District Board meeting on September 21st, 2023. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Rivers?
Here.
Commissioner Magiera?
Here.
Commissioner Pye?
Here.
Commissioner Fahmy?
Here.
President Hartman?
Here. Can I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I will make a motion. We have any changes to the minutes? Eric, we have any changes to the minutes? Okay.
Nope.
I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Make the motion to approve the minutes as presented.
You have to read the dates and the.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking for them right now.
So for the
Do
subject,
the minutes for 17th day of August 2023
and then for the regular meeting.
and for the regular meeting, 17th of August 2023.
All right. I have a second.
Jesse.
Okay. All right. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Fahmy?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. All right. I'd like to welcome the guest. Any comments? All right. I would make a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
There's nothing to, it's as is.
As is, yep,
As
no
is.
changes, yep.
So moved.
Second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Fahmy?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. All right. Commissioners' comments?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Last Friday, I attended the Rotary Club. That was a great day. I got with Mike, the IT guy. Great guy. Funny. I enjoyed talking with.
Did you beat him?
No, it was the best ball.
They was on the team, yeah.
When you finally like he was like till he did my tea. The dinner was awesome. Good food, the course in good shape.
First of all, I'd like to thank and again congratulate the Park District for another phenomenal summer. Both for the pool, again, this is Zion, and even in this whole county or even state, there isn't too many people that are going to the Olympics for swimming. And to have 0 incidents at a pool like that is second to none. I mean, you can't, unless you've actually been a lifeguard, it's those poor kids out there, it's pretty tough. And I want to applaud them, Kay and her crew. Again, another successful year at the golf course, both Shepherds and Shiloh. I know that's we've went over the budget from last year at Shiloh, which is great. And the courses both look great. Again, this is not a surprise to me. This Park District is second to none. And I feel that the residents of Zion are pretty lucky to have a park district that they do have. The people that are concerned, they really work their hearts out, and they really take care of things when it's time. And again, what another successful summer, and I appreciate it, Eric. And so please, any of the commissioners have anything to say, please do.
And just a shout out to Rich for taking care of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Anything else? And another successful parade.
Yeah.
I mean, the city of Zion, the police department, the fire department, there were no incidents. And from what I've seen, it was a pretty successful successful event again. So thanks, everybody. All right, anything from the attorneys?
Nope, nothing from the attorneys.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to approve the unfunded bills for August.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures for the month of August 2023 in the amount of $468,390.41.
I have a second.
Second.
All right. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Cremate?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. All right, executive report.
Okay. So congratulations again this year to the world champion Razzle Dazzles. They won 2 gold medals at the International Baton Twirling Championships in Liverpool, England.
Wow.
So they won a gold medal in the Parade Corp and one in the Exhibition Corp categories. So it's pretty cool, right? The local youth, they learn the basics of baton in our program here, led by Laura Spaeth, and then they work their way up to become one of the world champion Razzle Dazzles. So, you know, our program and the Razzle Dazzles offer just a great experience for the youth in our area, and Coach Laura really does a great job with them from the youngest level to the highest level, and they've had tremendous success, you know, the last 2 years. Also, just wanted to, you know, add on to what Bill had said about Labor Day. Labor Day activities were, you know, just filled with a lot of great things. Started off with the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast at Zion Township High School, which really had a nice turnout and was a nice breakfast in the morning. Attended by many religious leaders, elected officials, and local residents in the community. So that was a great way to start the Labor Day morning. And then, you know, later in that afternoon was the Zion Benton Labor Day Parade. So it was the first time that the parade was brought back post-COVID. You know, great job to Community Relations Manager Christine and the Zion City of Economic Development Coordinator Sonalito Brunson. The two of them really worked together to spearhead the City Events Commission and did a lot of work to coordinate that parade and bring it back this year. And like Bill said, you know, it was a tremendous success. A lot of people enjoyed it. It was a hot day. Dave and Carolyn were out there in the golf cart. Myself and May and Virginia were out there as well. I think temperatures were well into the 90s. But it was just a really nice event for the community. So.
Do we ever consider putting a larger vehicle in the parade?
And Jesse was out there too.
Yeah, Jesse was in his scooter. I thought
I
that
was
was
thinking
pretty
about the
cool.
golf. I was thinking about the golf carts, Jess. You were there too.
Thank you,
You had your little scooter out there, right?
Jesse was
I think that
represented
is
too.
cool as that thing is cool.
Did we ever consider putting a larger vehicle in the parade?
We, I don't know about years ago. We used to have a float years ago.
Yeah.
I think it could be neat at some point in the future. We wanted to see kind of this first year back how the parade went. But to, you know, build a float or something like that we can use year after year would be maybe a cool idea.
Maybe not a float, just one of our vehicles, like the
Yeah.
Ranger vehicle, something like that. I know there were other departments with larger vehicles in there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to have a presence.
Yep.
Who would it be occupied by? Most of the staff is busy on the holiday.
Yeah, well, we threw the invitation out to all staff, so any staff members that wanted to come and walk with the Park District and the parade were more than welcome to.
I'm talking about on a float, because you usually get more people on a float.
On a float, well, primarily I would expect or hope our park board of
Instead of having
commissioners.
their own golf carts and.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Depending on what kind of turnout we had, it could be a combination of, you know, a lot
I was thinking about some,
Volunteers.
what I saw was some of the vehicles that were being used by some of the other park districts that I represented. Waukegan, they brought their official vehicles there. And so I was just thinking about it, and if we had any official vehicles that could be cleaned up and put in there, so.
Yeah,
I was thinking about a float, but float's not a bad idea. So.
Next
Yeah.
year's also an election year, so you're gonna have a lot of politicians.
oh, yeah, true,
That's historical.
yeah. Well, it was good to see the turnout that we had, you know, this year.
And we needed
Coming
more.
back out of
Oh,
COVID.
I agree.
You know, it was a nice
I
turnout.
agree.
We needed more candy.
20 years ago, I was involved with the parade.
That was
I
really
with
something
Esther.
else. That was awesome.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
the one that
Those
said
kids
we
at
could
parade
start
candy really
with
cool.
Yeah.
and everybody voted.
Yeah, but we did give out a lot of candy.
Yeah.
And let's see what else. So the IAPD conference registration is open for any commissioners that would like to attend the state conference in Chicago. I'm happy to register you, make a hotel room. I know we kind of missed the national one. We talked about it here and there, but it just seemed like things were so busy, and for us to be out honestly a week for that and coordinate it all. That's why we kind of
They
missed
were
it.
doing
but-
O'Hare, or is that next year, the year after?
This year is at the Hyatt Regency in Chicago,
Right.
where it was last
On
year.
Yeah,
I-
the big one.
The
on
big
Wacker.
one, yep, on Wacker. I know they sent out a survey as well to see if people were interested in moving it potentially to Rosemont.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
so that might happen in the future. I'm sure they're locked into the Hyatt for at least a couple more years. I think they locked
yeah,
it
I think
in
it was
for-
2026, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that, where
Yeah.
they were planning on switching it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Okay.
it is the largest state park and recreation conference in the nation. Brings together a lot of thousands of professionals, commissioners, elected officials from around the state.
I
So,
think it's a phenomenal.
yeah, IAPD does a
Yeah.
nice job with all of their trainings and everything that they do. So there's a lot of good value in that. So I'm happy to register any commissioner that would like to go. Okay.
Okay.
So let me know. We still have plenty of time.
Anything else?
That is it.
If you're planning on doing it, get that hotel room in quick,
Yeah.
because those things go pretty fast.
They do go fast at the Hyatt. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else there?
No.
Okay. All right. The audit report is
Yep.
next.
Yep.
You're on, ma'am.
So, yep, Courtney from our audit firm, Lauterbach and Amon, is here to present the fiscal year 2022-2023 audit, which you all have in front of you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. As mentioned, my name is Courtney. I am one of the audit principals at Lauterbach and Amon. I've had the pleasure to work with Zion Park District for 4 years now, somewhere around there. And I'm really happy to be back, so thank you so much for having me. I am presenting the April 30th, 2023 audited financial statements. Before I get started, I did want to say a huge thank you to Eric and the accounting team for all their help in getting everything pulled together for the audit. It does take a lot of extra work outside of the scope of their regular job duties to not only prepare for the audit and have us on site here, but to also bring it to the bound report that you see in front of you today. So thank you all so much for all of your help. The Zion Park District is a part of the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement program. This is a very prestigious award that requires additional work and additional schedules throughout that audit report that you see in front of you to essentially apply and receive this award. At April 30th, 2022, it was the 30th consecutive year that the Zion Park District received this prestigious award. So congratulations on receiving it again. We are working with the Park District to get this application in for 2023, and I have no doubt that you will receive it again. The purpose of an audit is for us to perform various tests and procedures on your financial statements to ultimately form an opinion. We did give the Park District an unmodified opinion. It is also known as a clean opinion. It is the highest opinion that we can give. It states that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects, and we can rely on the internal control environment of the organization. Additionally, in our SAS 114 letter, which is our required communication to those charged with governance, we note that we did not have any difficulties or disagreements with management throughout the process. It was a very smooth audit process this year. Just to touch on a few key financial highlights, your financial statements start on page around 30 or so. If you want to kind of take a little bit of a gander on that. Overall, the district's net position did increase this year. Your net position of your business type activities, which are your golf courses, increased by about $300,000 or 4% from last year. Your net position of your governmental activities also increased by about $1.4 million or 15% from last year. Your ending net position on April 30th, 2023 was about $18.6 million. Of that 18.6, $13 million is your net investment in capital assets, which are the capital assets that the organization owns, less any related accumulated depreciation and debt that was used to purchase those assets. $929,000 is subject to external restrictions, so think about those property tax levies, any of those restricted dollars that you have at year end. And the remaining 4.5 is your unrestricted net position that may be used to meet the ongoing obligations of the Park District. At the fund level, the main operating fund of the Park District, which is your general fund, did report a deficit this year of about $337,000. Nothing too crazy. This was a decrease of about 20% from last year, but your ending fund balance was about $1.1 million. The other smaller bond report that you have in front of you that is required to come out of our audit is something called the management letter. This is our recommendations of any policies, procedures, or any other kind of FYIs that we wanted to let you know about. A majority of the new comments are less of actual recommendations and more so new GASB pronouncements. So GASB essentially governs the way your financial statements are supposed to be presented. And there are actually 4 new comments coming out in the next couple of years. And so each of those are listed with a little bit of information on them, as well as implementation date, so that you are aware of that coming up. We will work with the Park District to get those implemented as necessary. The other comments I just wanted to point out to you were prior year comments that were repeated but are making their way towards positive. One of them was a funds not in compliance with your fund balance policy, which I'm sure you all have chatted about with your audit fund and your liability insurance fund. Overall, your fund balance is improving in both of these funds, so the amount that's not in compliance is much, much smaller than it was last year. You'll see. So your prior recommendation number 1, I do not have a page number in front of me, I apologize, but if you move towards the back a little bit, you'll be able to see the chart that shows that. Additionally, we had to note that there were funds that were over budget this year, which there are management's response for explanation as to why this is. And this was something from last year and this year, so just something we wanted to kind of point out and draw your attention to. But it was very clearly explained by management, so you can understand why that was.
Any questions? Well, ma'am, thanks. I know this is definitely a headache, and there's a lot of hours involved, and people don't realize it unless they've dealt with stuff like this. So, again, Eric and your staff, another great job, and ma'am, I can't thank you enough. I hope you do come back all the time. Oh, you can even come to a meeting.
I do
So,
have one.
Go ahead, please, Cheryl.
Actually, for the funds over budget.
Yep.
So basically, you would always have this recommendation if it was not in balance. Is that correct?
So if you overspent your expenses over what you had budgeted for, that is when we would have that recommendation. So there are instances where if you are intending to spend down your fund balance and you are intending to kind of have that deficit to pay additional money on a project or whatever the case may be, we would still have to call that out. But something to always consider is a budget amendment, if that's something that you need to consider maybe halfway through the year or otherwise. We do see it a lot with park districts and municipalities, but it's more so of a spend of your expenses rather than deficit position.
Right. So this is a over expense of the expenditures that we have budgeted, but it does not factor in the additional revenue that was received. So for example, if we budgeted to spend $500,000 and we spent $800,000, but our revenue was quadruple what it was,
We still get
that's
called
why,
out.
right? Yeah, so that's, right.
Ultimately, the purpose is whatever is submitted to the county is your legal spending limit on what you can spend on an annual basis. And so we always just kind of like to give that FYI that if you're getting close to that or exceeding that, to kind of take a look at your budgeting and what you should consider for the upcoming fiscal years. And I know it's been hard with COVID and
prices
programs
yeah.
and all that stuff. Like there's been so much fluctuation in the Park District world, so.
Great question, Cheryl. Thank you. So, am I going to approve this?
To
or
accept it? Mhm.
Accept it? Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion to accept the presentation audit report for fiscal year 2022 and 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Second, I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Cremain?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Again, thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right,
Courtney.
thanks,
Good one.
Courtney.
Good
Yeah,
seeing you.
yeah, good
Take
seeing
care.
you.
Bye.
Safe drive.
Safe travels.
All right, next is the Sourcewell Intergovernment Plan. purchasing?
Yes, so this is the approval of the quote for Shiloh Park playground equipment, which was presented, I think it was maybe 2 meetings ago at this point, right? But this is the actual quote to purchase the equipment that was presented Lacey covered it in her presentation. The equipment is covered through the Sourcewell Intergovernmental Purchasing Cooperative, which is why we don't have to bid the equipment. It's covered under that. So, again, just wanted to remind people too that, the Shiloh Park Playground is a combination of securing grants in the amount of $400,000 from the DCEO, in addition to the statewide funding initiative through IPRA that ESME applied for and was successful in getting. That statewide funding initiative provided us a discount on the equipment of $141,417. So, I mean, we're getting a significant amount of playground equipment here and using, as much external assistance to pay for this as we can. So, the total playground equipment cost to be approved is $195,177. And you have the quote in your packet there. It starts with some of the renderings that we saw before, so you'll see the renderings of the equipment, and I think it's PDF, like page 66. And then there's the listing of the
Option 2.
quote.
Okay, so we got a $400,000 grant, right?
Correct, from DCEO.
And don't we have to spend $400,000?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
this is just the first part?
no, I'm sorry. So that grant, Cheryl, is not a matching grant like the IDNR grant.
Oh, okay.
So there's a couple different things going on out there at Shiloh Park. One is we got the IDNR grant, the OSLAD grant, which is a 50-50 match.
Okay.
So OSLAD's going to put in $400,000 for the court renovation in park
Oh,
work,
gotcha.
and then
Yeah.
we're obligated to put in at least $400,000 more on that.
Right. Okay.
This DCEO grant was just an allocation by DCEO for us to purchase a playground. Now, it's more than just purchase the playground, because we still have other things to do out there. We have to install it, we have to pour like the concrete border, we have to put the wood chips in. So this covers about half of.
Just the equipment?
Yes, correct. So I'm confident we'll still spend the $400,000, right?
Mhm.
This is just about half of it at this point.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything? Any other questions? Go ahead, Jess.
We got 400,000. We don't put 400,000 with it or more.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
How much more?
The project is going out to bid here in the next couple weeks. So I would expect, hopefully, the entire project out there to come in
1.5.
1.9, 2, probably 1.9, right? So, of that 1.9, if you look at, again, 400,000 from DCEO,
Yeah.
400,000 from OSLAD, 150,000 from the statewide funding initiative discount, you're almost at $1 million.
We need to come up with 900.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically, correct. Right. It depends where bids come in. We anticipate, I believe it's that we will bring the bids to the park board in October. Maybe it was November, but obviously the bids for the total construction of the plan that you saw presented by Lacey a couple months ago, those bids that's going to go out to bids.
Yeah.
I see two of the line items that there's no price. Does that mean that those are included as part of the deal? The sign packages, there's 2 sign packages?
Yeah, that must be part of.
The initiative.
Yeah, as part of the initiative, like Esme was saying, this playground is going to be governed under like the statewide funding initiative,
Right.
the national initiative. So it explains, all the different elements of it, and provides for data tracking and things like that. Because it's going to be a national demonstration site. So that's your NDS.
It's gonna be a national demonstration site for other people to come and look at?
Correct. There'll be a QR code that people can do surveys on it.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it'll be on the map.
Wow.
And they'll promote it. Game Time will promote it through their website. And if it was done by the time that the conference happened in January, the APD conference, they would have a display board of it and things like that too. But unfortunately, it's not going to be installed by then. But they might have the renderings up and stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything? All right, I will go ahead and entertain a motion for the Sourcewell Intergovernment Purchasing Cooperative as authorized in the Illinois Governmental Joint Purchasing Act.
Say the amount.
And that's for the amount of 195,177.10.
So moved.
Have a second? Have a second? Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Vermeet?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers? President Hartman?
Aye, thank you. All right, now the maintenance building for an update.
Yeah, Rich and I wanted to, provide the board with kind of a status update of where things are at with the building. I can't remember maybe the last time that we had discussed this. It was either John Bosman and Todd Perrone from Camosi were in here, and also we had approved to hire on an architect. If you remember, the architect is CUNY Architects out of Pleasant Prairie. They do a lot of public works buildings, and they work frequently with Camosi. So Rich and I have met with two representatives from the architectural firm from CUNY. So one of the owners and then one of the other architects. And then the team from Camosi that we've been meeting with is John Bosman, Todd Perrone, and Kevin Camosi. So it's usually the 7 of us. We've been meeting at Camosi's headquarters over in Zion. Actually, they have that building right off of 41. So it's Zion, but it's up by the Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're right across the street from the Bristol Renaissance Fair. That's Camosi's
Oh, really?
Zion
Okay.
headquarters, yeah. So we have probably met with them, Rich and I have met with them probably at least 4 different times. We've also, along with these meetings, we brought Terry Staples with us, who was a 40-year Park District employee, in maintenance. And Adam Schroeder, who is also our current mechanic, and he's been with us about 27 years or so. So just to get the input of everyone, and then, obviously Rich and all his experience as well, both working in the Park District and in the public works environments and mechanicking and things like that. So really between those 3 individuals, honestly, which is what I put in the board report, I mean, that's about 100 years of combined experience between those 3 individuals working, in maintenance and different capacities of mechanicking and everything like that. So pretty fortunate, honestly, to be in those meetings, because if I was just sitting in there with Camosi and these architects, I wouldn't think of these things that, where do we put the tire rack? Where are we going to put some of the different cans to change the fluids? We need a door here to be able to load parts in so it's easy for the mechanic to reach, right? So a lot of those discussions, productive discussions, have been happening with the architect where he kind of drew up some things, and then, Terry, Rich, Adam, myself, to the extent that, learning from these guys as I go, right? Modifying, the layout of the building and how it's going to best be used. So you can see here, the page that I have, the 1-page drawing, is the architect's. This is probably about his 4th rendition of the building here. It's on PDF, page 67. It's almost toward the very, very end of the packet. So this is on, you can see 27th Street in Ebenezer. That's the lot, obviously, that we, obtained from the city. That's the initial layout. This one, so for example, this is not the final drawing because they noticed how close it was to the lot line there on the red. The building is going to get moved a little bit more toward Ebenezer to, get off of that lot line, which Union Pacific owns that property to the west. And we're also looking at like a 2-phase build on this, which I think is one of the things we've been talking about all along. So the first phase would be sort of that first third of the building to the left, not like all the semi-tractor truck looking stuff on the right, but so that's going to house the mechanics where the mechanic is now. It's gonna house a couple office spaces for maintenance. Rich's office will probably move out there. There's a training room / break room / eating room that will be put in, a small locker room section, a couple bathrooms, a wood shop room. So all of that is really like the phase one that we're looking at. That's probably right now the way they've got it scaled. That's about 10,000 square feet, maybe 10,500. Again, they're still dialing things in. Things have been shrunk as we've gone from just kind of like version to version. This first build as well is going to be the more expensive part of the build because of the site work that has to happen, a lot of the mechanicals and electrical that needs to go in there. So although this first part is going to be an expensive part and we're getting about 10,000 square feet, we have the ability, and the building's being designed with the ability to add on that other barn-looking garage type area, which could go up to what, Rich, 15,000 square feet if we wanted to go that large on it.
Wow.
But I think, like we've talked about, we will definitely need some aspect of that. I don't know that we'll need the full 17,000, but it's nice that we have a good lot there. So, for example, the detention pond that's in the picture is sized in the event that we were to expand, to build this larger structure, right? So the detention, which will be of stormwater management's concern, that will all be taken care of in the front end here.
So that wouldn't have to be redone.
Correct.
No.
Expanded or anything. Correct.
One time permitting, one time.
Nice.
Right. So we're looking at, Kamosi's telling us to expect potentially $290 a square foot, and on just over 10,000 square feet, you're somewhere around almost $3 million, which is a lot. But we really want to do, we want to build a facility that really is the forever home for maintenance, to where in 50 years, Park District operations are still being run out of here. And again, to build the first phase and then see how much additional capacity we need in the second phase, I think is a good way to do it. I feel like Kamosi's pushing us to just, do the whole project in one shot. Of course they want to do it all in one shot.
Yeah.
But I just think it makes sense for us now to live in the first part, see how much additional capacity we need, take a little bit of a breath, complete the Shiloh Park renovation OSLAD, the David Park OSLAD, see where our cash is at that point. And so phase two probably wouldn't be for a couple more years at least. If this was built, or once this is built, this would allow us to no longer need to rent the facility that we're renting now over on 16th Street. Adam's over there working in about 3,000 square feet, 3,500 square feet, doing primarily mechanicking. This mechanic shop that you see on the upper part of the building is a mechanic shop of, what do we say, Rich, about 3,000, 4,000 square feet?
Yeah, it's just under 4.
Yeah. Rich has been out at our current building, the Hebron Maintenance Building now, taking footprints on the size of the locker room, size of the break room, thinking about, how maintenance uses the facility now.
Taking into consideration if you ever have a woman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
So, yeah, correct. Both of the bathrooms here are unisex bathrooms.
And of
there's
course, everything's got to be ADA, but that's,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, everything will be ADA, all up to code, which is why it's great to have Kamosi involved in the oversight of the construction and everything like that. Gary Deegan from Deegan Environmental Consultants, who gave the presentation to the board before we took the property on. I don't know if you remember Gary and the younger guy, Cullen, who said these are maybe a couple hot spots that we're going to need to have trucked out before it's safe. Gary Deegan is involved as well. He was at the last meeting with us talking about, talking to Kamosi and the architect. And Gary is preparing some bids to have some work done to take some soil out of there that could be problematic. So Gary is involved with us still. The city still has one more year of, so this area too is the parking lot for Dungeon of Doom, right? So Gary Deegan wouldn't do any work until like mid-November. That's one of the stipulations on, he can't truck anything out and really kind of dig any holes out there until mid-November. But he'll kind of deliver a clean site then to Camosi and say, okay,
It's yours.
So
this
with-
will be clean, and anything else would be covered that could be problematic. That's why Gary's looking at the architect's footprint here to say, okay, this soil will be covered in a vapor barrier between the soil and the building.
How are you approaching this? In this phases? This is the rendering of the actual plot, for example, of the footprint or what's that? Have you just talked about the actual structure itself? What it's going to be made of? Have we got to that point yet?
Not really to that point in detail. Rich could probably talk to that a little better as far as like what Rich is envisioning for how it's going to be built. I mean, there will be block walls.
Yeah, it'll be a conventional metal baker style building, basically a big warehouse is what it would look like. The facade, like the front that faces the road, that's up for design yet because there may be municipal requirements that we gotta meet as to how it would actually look,
Right.
the appearance.
Yeah, because sometimes there are some requirements for so much,
Yes.
but it has to look like
Yeah.
a piece of artwork,
Yes.
which I'm all for.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm all for building a building that's going to
Yes.
stand time here and not
Yes.
be, so it's going to fall down the first big storm we get. So.
Yeah.
Right.
That's- yeah.
Right.
No.
So what do they say, Rich? Block walls, 6 feet high of block walls, and then, or is it 8? Something there was
8 foot high, 8 foot high block interior, and then 8 foot high knee walls all the way around the whole perimeter. Yeah, I mean, it'll be built solid.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten down to some of those
Okay, gotcha.
design
So-
details specifics yet. This is still getting the footprint and the correct sizing and getting things where they want, Rich has said some things like, let's move this room on the complete opposite side of the drawing,
With the Dungeon of Doom using the parking lot,
yeah.
is there any liability that we have?
Yeah, I just had a conversation yesterday with the city administrator, David Nabel, because the contract is with, between the Dungeon of Doom and the city. And David and I did talk about that too, because I said, okay, well, it's a, semi-officially our lot now.
Yeah.
David's like, right, but the contract is with the city and the Dungeon of Doom, and any first sort of like legal, lawsuits would go to the Dungeon of Doom. And then David said anything after that, he's like, no, it's still our contract with them. I'm not concerned about that. But we did have that conversation. I said, okay, David, I do want to bring it up, And he said, no, the city would defend any lawsuits if anything were to happen down there, this October.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And that'll be in writing?
we don't have it in writing.
I would.
I can
that would
send
be
him
the
an email.
sensible-
I can send him an
Yeah.
email and say, please confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah, put
Please
in
confirm
writing
our
so that
conversation.
we're protected also.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
even the email might suffice. Somebody had a question.
Did you have?
Yes, I was going to, the dollar amount that you quoted for the first half of the building, that also includes, if I remember correctly, they said that they would do all the electrical and water and all the utilities for the entire area in the first half, so that when and if you do expand,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything's
all
gonna be
laid.
prepped.
so
for
that's part of
that.
why
Yeah.
the first
Oh,
half
yeah.
payment is so high, because
Right.
it's including the entire.
Yeah, all the
expanse.
critical infrastructure will be laid. Yeah. Yeah.
That was right.
So are we gonna make a motion to approve this, or
No,
just a
no, there's
brief?
really nothing to approve at this point. This is
Okay.
going to continue to kind of change and evolve, but we did kind of just want to let you know
No, it's good.
where we're at and the process that we've been going through. We've been putting a lot of time into it. Eventually, we will again have Camosi come and the architect come with the full, with the
Full
full
gamut.
renderings and the full presentation.
I'm not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
The red line is the boundaries.
Yes, the property boundary. Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, in,
So though,
the parking lot is having the boundary half out.
yes, but the city is also going to vacate Ebenezer Avenue. So Ebenezer Avenue is going to be the park district's for use. Now, they won't let us like pave it or build on it because they have some water mains and some electrical mains running below it. But if you can see where the fence is drawn on this picture, the fence is drawn just to the east of Ebenezer Avenue.
What fence?
Can you point to that for him, Christine? It's really light.
Yeah.
That's
It's
how
above
we
the street.
Yeah, that's how we anticipate fencing the property.
That's cool.
So that fencing will be part of that
I
first
would talk to you
phase.
about this.
Yeah, Rich and I were talking about that today. We would like to kind of fence it to
Yeah,
secure it
yep.
and kind of see what Camosi advises on that. Yeah.
That's showing it. It's showing it right there. That's the fence.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
So yeah, if there's no other questions, I mean, it's been an interesting process, but it's been a good process and
But,
super helpful to have Rich
Well-
and everyone providing input.
but what you should say, I would like a fence around that lot.
Yeah, that's what
I
Cheryl was
like-
just saying.
I like a 9-foot fence.
Yeah, right. And I don't know what phase, but I mean, I think, Rich has expressed too,
Yeah.
pretty early on, we'd like to kind of
As
secure
soon
it.
as,
Yes.
yeah, as soon as the lease is up with the Dungeon of Doom,
Yeah.
we'll
Put
try,
the
we'll
fence
probably
up.
try and
Yeah.
get it secured as soon as we can.
Mhm.
All right. Sounds good. Any
When
other
is the lease
questions?
up with the Dungeon of Doom, by the way?
Officially January 1, isn't it?
The city's lease is to provide them parking. And to be honest, I thought Ray said that after this year, there was still one more year though. Now, the city was gonna look at, if you go to the south of this, the city owns that lot to the south. They were gonna make a parking lot, this is what they're
Proposing?
expecting. Yeah, they were gonna make a parking lot for them next year.
Yeah.
They were asking us to just kind of hold off because of how late this all developed. They're like, these guys are gonna need something for 2023, but in 2024, we'll have a solution for them,
Does it get that packed over there with that Dungeons of Doom? Does it?
I've seen parking all the way up on Shiloh Boulevard.
Yes. They make $1 million
People come
bucks
from all over.
Wow.
in 1 month.
Hmm.
Bill, they make $1 million bucks in 1 month.
I
It's
haven't heard
good
that.
revenue, so yeah,
Hey,
they do a
next
lot of
time you talk
advertising
to
too,
them,
so.
Heart me with 2 ends. No, everything's great. Like I said, any more questions? Anybody have anything? All right. So we're not going to executive session. All right. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting of the Zion Park District dated September 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Christine, please read the roll call. All right.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Permain?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera? President Hartman?
Aye. Great job, guys.